only thing we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer! Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring you the news and reviews of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, joined, as always, by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and our ferment entertainer,
Wayne Baker.
Why are you giving me that look?
I'm not. No,
Okay.
There's no look.
This
No look was
evil-
given.
Okay, cool.
You can't prove it. It's all audio.
That's true. That's true. And it was directed at me, so nobody else could see it either. Well, today we are on location. We're back in Harrisburg. We're at Zeroday Brewing Company, and I'm very happy to be here. We had a taste of Zeroday before for Harrisburg Beer Week, and now we have the couple behind the madness with us. We have
Brandalynn Armstrong.
and
Theo Armstrong.
now Brandalynn. You may remember hearing her when we were at the Capital City Invitational Beer Fest. Lots of words at ABC. But Theo, this is your first time with us.
It is.
Well, thank you
I'm excited.
yeah, me too. Somebody else said it. Somebody else said it first.
Excited!
Okay.
I'm
Go
stoked.
ahead and take your first shot, people.
Yeah, right.
Drink.
And we should note that they're drinking.
Of course, it's
but-
a beer podcast.
Yeah.
I never drink.
Oh, sure. Yeah, says the one who owns
We're going to have
the
to
brewery.
ask you to leave.
Yeah,
I have 2 beers in my hand.
yeah, right. Well, technically one's in your hand, the other's just on the table. Now they are both in your hand.
There we go.
There we go. Well, I'm very happy to be back here. I had a blast when we had the after party from, what was that, Little Big Beer Fest?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the after party was here, and it was good taste, good environment. If you can't hear, there's good music playing in the background also, which I'm very happy about. But we have a lot of things to get to, so why don't we do this? So there's a couple of things worth passing along. One I found kind of interesting. I know there's lately been some sort of, at least what seems to be mixed emotions about Boston Beer Company and Sam Adams, as people are rolling their eyes. But Boston Beer Company, who of course,
Again, you can't prove it. It's all audio.
Right, that's
Nobody saw anything.
Boston Beer Company, the makers of course, Sam Adams, they are going to jump into the nitro can market starting January 2016. First up in the series is Sam Adams Nitro White Ale, which is launching in January. It's brewed with citra hops plus grains of paradise, orange peel, and coriander, and it comes in at about 5.5%. February is going to see the release of Sam Adams Nitro IPA, brewed with 6 different hops, including Zeus, Polaris, Galaxy, Amarillo, Centennial, and Simcoe, and it's about 7.5%. And March is going to see the Sam Adams Nitro Coffee Stout, which I love the sound of that, which is hopped with East Kent Goldings, and the coffee-laden beer finishes at 5.8%. Now, all Nitro can offerings will be available in 16-ounce can 4-packs, and their estimated retail value is going to be between $8.99 and $10.99 per 4-pack. So
Can we talk about the 30-day shelf life IPA? I think that's even better breaking news.
breaking news? Yes, let's talk about that.
So they're also going to release, is it a double IPA or a single IPA?
I believe it's a double.
Double IPA. And it's going to have a shelf life of like 34 days or 35 days. And
So-
I say good for you.
At which point the can spontaneously combusts.
No, at which time they buy it back and they don't sell it to consumers anymore.
That's a really good idea.
So it's almost like the Stone and Joy Buy series.
Yeah.
Only more.
Except sometimes you see Enjoy by 7.4.15 on the shelf, 7.10.15 because they don't take it off.
Yeah, my local beer distributor has that. Yeah.
Still?
Yeah, but the way that the beer is handled during distribution can affect the final product
Yep.
and how it tastes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you guys here, you have complete control. I mean, you see the beer from brewing to tap. I mean, you're even delivering kegs yourself to the local bars. But when you put something, especially in a bottle,
Yep.
and you put it out there, you know, it's sitting in light, it's sitting in heat. You know, not everybody has distributors that care about the light and the temperature and the area that
we've talked before about the state of beer distributors in Pennsylvania basically being warehouses
Yeah.
full of beer where there's not necessarily good climate control. There's not necessarily, there's fluorescent lights. There's all that kind of thing. And somebody buys a bottle of beer and doesn't understand the effect that can have on it, and it's got your name on it.
especially a
Yep.
really hoppy beer.
Yeah, exactly.
I say good for Sam Adams. If you can afford to buy it back, make a statement and show that these beers need to be consumed quickly and they need to be taken care of before they get into consumers' hands.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of quality control with that. So how are they going to have reps that go check the dates at the
They already
distributors?
have that.
Okay.
Yeah, Sam Adams is one of the leaders in actually buying back expired beer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
if you go into a store and buy a 6-pack of Sam Adams, and it's expired, Sam Adams will buy that back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But how diligent are the actual wholesalers going to be with following that protocol? Because it's not just about I'm getting it paid for, but it's all of the time and the labor to actually say this is what I have left over. Come get it. So it has to be something that's easy for the business owner to do as well. But I think it's really important that they are paying attention to that. And I think with us being so small, we always wonder what's going to come out, of that tap. And we always make sure that, we have our fresh glasses, our lines are purged. We have so much control. But like Steph said, as soon as that hits a shelf, all bets are off, and you're putting your trust of your product into the hands of someone that's reselling it. So it's scary.
And the fact is, if you're distributing in bottles especially, unfortunately it's on the brewer and the brewery to make sure that their expired products aren't sell, because wholesalers are just going to leave it there until it sells. I mean, that's
just like it's on us whenever we sell a keg to a bar.
Right.
We have to know that bar has a draft system that's installed properly and it's well maintained.
Right.
And their servers know how to serve our beer.
And that their glasses are taken care
right.
of. Mm-hmm. Because you serve a beer in a dirty or a cold glass, that's going to affect the final product.
Right.
Because a dirty glass or a cold glass, I mean, that can negatively affect a
beer.
beer.
I can send a keg out and it might taste amazing here. Mm-hmm. The same keg, if someone's going and doing a frosted mug,
right.
in a draft line that just had something
pumpkin spiced,
something
whatever
different.
Speaking of beers and glasses here, should we mention what we're drinking now?
Oh yeah,
perhaps consider it our sipping beer. Since
we'll do that before the next story. I never even asked you. We just asked for the lowest ABV beer, and this showed up.
You're a cheap date. That's what you're drinking.
I'm very expensive.
Dan is very high maintenance.
Yes.
I think that this was one of the first beers I had opening day. This was on tap opening day.
Yes.
You guys opened,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
This is a little bit different. We actually fresh hopped this one. We were able to get a fair amount of fresh hop Cascade from a local farm in Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. And it was her first year of a crop. And she went around, boots to the ground, and just started kind of getting people on board. And it turned out really nice. The Cascade definitely had a real farmy flavor to it. And you'll see that kind of repeated when we try the double that's also fresh hopped with this Cascade. But we figured, what the heck? Let's use it. So
The other fun fact about that beer is it's actually the first beer that we produced that I didn't make.
Oh yeah.
I was there. I supervised it.
I watched.
I had a minor surgery on my leg the day before it needed brewed, and on this scale, when tanks are empty, you have to brew. So we brought one of our guys in, and I sat there on painkillers.
so much Vicodin.
I just pointed at things and told him what to do, and
But it worked.
yeah, it worked.
Turned
It
out
worked.
well.
It made beer. Yeah.
It did make beer.
Made a very good beer. I like the drinkability of this beer.
Yeah, and you describe it as light, crisp, and goes down easy, and that's
As cheap date should.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It is an American blonde.
of course.
And it tastes like one. Not sure how to take that.
Wow.
Wow.
On that note, there's one more story I wanted to pass along. There's a protein drink / beer hybrid beer that is going to make its way around from Supplemental Brewing, and they're raising funds on Kickstarter. Now, by the time this episode airs, the Kickstarter will have ended. That's my only regret about this story.
We can post it on the social.
We could. So, Supplemental Brewing Protein Beer is looking to release 2 beers once it reaches its Kickstarter goal of $40,000 because, and quote, "We believe that everyone in America should be able to enjoy a cold protein beer after a hard workout, and we are asking for your help in making that a reality." So, as of the writing of the article I am now reading, the Kickstarter had reached $13,000 out of their $40,000 goal with just over 3 weeks to go. Now, Brewteen, it's going to be called, has 7 grams of whey protein in it, which the company claims is the greatest amount of protein in any beer in the world. It logs 5% alcohol with 178 calories per serving, and the flavor is described as light with a refreshing, clean body. Now, there is a second beer. There's a second beer called NutriBeer.
What's the point of this?
It tastes like a gym selfie.
It tastes like the gym selfie.
It's like
I really
shower
hope
beer,
it comes
gym
in one of
beer.
those giant like tubs, like supplement. Yeah.
It totally should.
Wow.
Well, the second beer is NutriBeer. It's a lighter, low-carbohydrate version with only 4 grams of protein but only 7 grams of carbs, as compared to the heavy hitter Bruteen's 13 grams of carbs. It has about 122 calories per serving, contains 4% alcohol, and it's a lager-style beer with a citrus flavor and a smooth finish. Now, people who donate to the Kickstarter campaign in increments of $10 to $1,000, they can either get a thank you gift, which will range from stickers to your own inspirational quote on the bottle's label.
What?
If you donate $50 or more, you get your own...
Did you say up to $1,000?
Up to $1,000
All right.
donate.
Yeah.
If you donate $50 or more, you get your own beer bell, which is
that an
a
earthquake?
3-pound dumbbell beer koozie that turns your bottle
That
of
was the
protein
world
booze into your workout
Revolting
aid.
against the protein
Yeah.
beer.
Right. Wait, we need to back up. Inspirational quotes.
Yes. If you donate $1,000, it looks like you will get your own inspirational quote on the bottle.
I don't want that.
I don't
I
want
kind
that.
of do, but like, what would
Can
it
you
be?
donate money to make this not happen?
Well, I don't know. People have already donated 13 grand worth.
It sounds like something people want.
Wow.
Sounds like their parents gave them 13 grand.
Yeah, exactly. Despite the health benefits, the company claims it is still an alcoholic beverage, says dietitian Gabrielle Giuliano.
Wait, what are the health benefits?
All the protein.
Protein.
Why do
all
we
that
need
protein.
more protein?
Why not?
To curl those biceps, you got to pump that iron.
Yeah. You got to pump your beer bell
Gotta-
that you'll get.
Beefcake it up.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a whole nother episode.
I feel like
that
the
could happen
can
right
should
now.
look like a dumbbell.
Yeah.
Well, it Giuliano
With an inspirational quote on it.
exactly.
Dream big.
Dream big.
Reach for the stars.
Dream big, drink bigger.
There you go.
You've got more to lose.
And that one's free, guys. That one's free. I'm not
No,
even
no,
gonna
they
donate.
gotta pay us now.
Yeah. Anyway, so they have to give us $1,000 because we came up with that for them. So Giuliano continues, it is true that post-workout one needs to replenish with protein, but adequate hydration with vitamins and minerals are also needed, which this beverage may or may not provide. And Giuliano also says, I'd be interested to see a full ingredient list. Giuliano also cautions that alcohol is a diuretic and gets in the way of hydrating the body post-workout, which is key for exercise recovery. So basically, a dietitian is saying this might not be the best option after you work out, which I feel kind of goes without saying.
No shit.
Does it say what the alcohol is?
There was...
It was 5 something?
One was 5 and one
Yeah,
was like 4.
Brutine is 5 and NutriBeer is 4.
Okay.
Routine.
Brutine and NutriBeer.
Yeah,
Makes
those are
me
the worst
think of
names too.
Ovaltine.
Yeah.
Ovaltine. Drink your Ovaltine, kids. Well, that's just about it for the news. Now, I'm going to try not to say the word. I'm very happy to be back at Zeroday, and I've been looking forward to this episode since I found out we were recording here. We had a taste of what was to come at ABC Beer Fest, and you had 2 beers that were there, right?
Yes.
Mango Hob.
Mango
And
hop.
something else.
And the
Oh, episode 4.
yeah, the episode
3?
4.
4.
It was
That
the
would
4.
have been 4, yeah.
But so we started off a cheap date tonight. I'm just looking at the list that we have going down later on. That's going to be awesome. But I don't think I got to ask you when we were at ABC, what does Zeroday mean? What's the what led you to that name?
Well, Theo actually hiked the entire Appalachian Trail in
geez.
2005.
Wow. Like the
He
whole
had a very large
thing.
Yep.
beard.
The whole thing.
A very large beard, and it was
Beard.
just-
I thought
Yeah.
you said
Beer.
No, he took Brutine
No.
along to keep him
Yeah,
going.
that
he took Brutine.
trip was sponsored by Brutine 10 years ago. Yeah,
He did make Lipton powdered soup out of puddle water.
Nice.
I still do.
That's
yeah.
some Bear Grylls shit right there.
It tastes groundy.
Tastes crowdy.
I like the earthy.
But Zeroday, you log your days and miles, and a 0 day is a day that you don't log any miles. And I think Theo would probably be the better person to kind of get more personal with what that means.
Yeah, so like she said, like when you're doing any, it's not just the Appalachian Trail, but any long distance hike, you refer to your days by the amount of miles that you put in. So today was a 5-mile day. Today was a 26-mile day, whatever.
Nope.
I don't even know what that means.
A 0 day is just that. It's a day that usually is pre-planned, because every day you don't hike is another day you're going to end up hiking at the end. Right. It's kind of like snow days in elementary school. You know, they were great in the winter, but
until June came.
Damn it, in June, yeah.
That's why I always hope for 2-hour delays.
That's right. Modified kindergarten, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Kindergarten.
Yeah, so a 0 day is generally something that you plan out, and you try to do it in a really cool town, like that has things to do, and you know,
is worth it.
Maybe a nice hostel or something like that.
Not the horror film.
0 day. 0 day.
Yeah.
We have nice hostels.
Right. And you know, it's important when you're doing anything to take a day off, take some time, and just kind of gather yourself and be ready the next day when you have to get back at whatever it is you're trying to accomplish.
When you have to get back into the car and continue driving, right?
And how that
otherwise this doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. and how it translates out to why we named it that is, you know, we're right off the Appalachian Trail, not too far, and we are really passionate about having it be a place that's comfortable. You can come here after work, you can hang out, you can have a beer, you can meet people from your community or people that are traveling in.
Record a podcast.
And record a podcast, you know, all the shenanigans. And, you know, just really relax. And it's right off the AT, and it's worthy of a 0 day. So basically, we felt our beer and the atmosphere was worthy of taking your 0 day, and that Harrisburg was a 0 day destination. So it all kind of came in line, you know. It was definitely not intended. I don't know if you guys know this, but we had actually had a different name for the company.
0 day was also not trademarked, so
that helps. That helps.
Alter ego, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, the name is just somewhere you can come and chill and relax. That's worth it.
Theo, how long did it take you to hike the trail?
5 months
In a row?
in a row. Yeah.
37
in a row.
It was a full-time job. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm 37.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Try not to. I'm sorry.
Thank you for stopping.
Too soon for that?
How many 0 days were there in that 5 months?
We took 2.
2 0 days in 5
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
Wow.
Wait, what?
Yeah, what? Wait
that
a
makes-
fucking minute.
Yeah, one was Thanksgiving, and the other, we actually, I hiked it with my brother, and he had a dog, and the dog got Lyme disease. So we took a 0 day for the dog to recoup a little bit. And the dog also hiked the entire Appalachian Trail. So.
No, wait, do you do it round trip, or do you have somebody come pick you up? At the
No.
end?
We did Maine to Georgia. Most
then-
people do Georgia to Maine, but
Okay.
I'm an asshole, so I did the opposite.
Did it backwards.
So wait, did somebody drive you to Maine and drop you guys off?
Yeah.
And then somebody came and picked you up?
Yep.
Wow.
There are people who get to the end and go, you know,
And then they take a 0 month,
Right.
and then they turn around.
they say a lot of them start going, shit, now I have to get a job. So
if I do it
mom
again,
and dad
it's 5
wire
more
me more
months.
money. Yeah. But yeah, it's we took 2 0 days and a couple of what's called Neros, which is like maybe you hike 5 miles into a town.
Right.
But it's not a full like
not
a
hiking
0
all day.
day. You wake up and sleep at the same place.
Right.
I wish you could see how he's talking right now. It's very passionate.
Right,
His
yeah.
hands are flailing and beating the table. And he's like, yes.
I'm just impressed
I'm a
that
little bit Italian, so I tend to.
if it weren't for a major holiday and a sick dog,
Right,
would there
yeah.
even have been any 0 days?
I you know, we were. My brother and I both did it at a point in our lives where we kind of needed that, but we also hated it the entire time. Yeah. So we
Isn't
needed
that
to
what
finish.
you do while you hike? You bitch the whole time?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn nature, yeah. But yeah, we knew we needed to finish. We started, so if we were going to leave, it was going to be on a stretcher. But we wanted to finish, The average for hiking it is 6 months. We did it in 5.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Beat the average.
The fastest hike,
I generally
think,
do beat the average.
Yeah, the fastest hike I think was just beaten, and it was like 45 days.
Wow.
We did the entire AT, and you would have to fact check that because I'm not going to do it.
Were they wearing roller skates?
But it was
Jetpack.
like
Jetpack.
45 days, and it was done, and it beat the previous record by just a couple hours.
Wow.
But can you imagine how many miles is the Appalachian Trail?
It changes every year. It's 2,179.9 when I
In
did it.
45 days?
All the miles. All the miles.
That's insane. Well, congrats on doing it in 5 months. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Congrats on doing it, period.
Period. Yeah, really.
I know,
in any
right?
length of time.
So what makes Midtown Harrisburg worthy of a zero day?
Well, it's got art. It's got a great food culture. It's got some beer bars. It's got history. I mean, we are the capital of Pennsylvania. Believe it or not, it's not Philly. It's
Anymore.
but it really is beautiful, and there is so much to do. We've got like the State Museum. We've got the Capitol Building. We've got the Susquehanna Art Museum, which is, actually gets really nice collections. Like they had Warhols and those types of things. So it's actually really legit. And we just liked the community, like tight-knit nature. But they're also so welcoming to outsiders. And you don't always find that in a kind of smaller town. And Harrisburg might be a large little city, but there's subsects of it. So Midtown was really important for us when we were looking because the people were cool. They were fun. They were who we wanted to sit inside of this tasting room. Now, obviously, sustainability doesn't only come from the people that can walk to your door. It comes from the people that travel, and getting those people in and getting your beer out there. But we really loved the overall feel of this exact community. And technically, it's Angleton. We're just outside the line of being able to be called Hardscrabble.
Yeah, Midtown has neighborhoods. It's
Nice.
a
Wow.
thing.
I
Yeah.
like
There are
Hardscrabble.
definitely neighborhoods, but it is Midtown, and we've got things going on.
Hardscrabble's across the street.
Just across the street.
Just across the street.
We're not a big city, and we have like 18 neighborhoods. So they're not
like
they're
2
not
blocks
big.
each.
We have things like Third in the Berg, like every third Friday of the month. A bunch of galleries, art galleries pop up, and I know you can't see it because it's a podcast, but we have a gallery wall right in the tasting room, and we swap that out and feature local artists every month. And we have such this huge art community. I'm so excited because we're getting some of the street arts that go around and do some of those awesome pop-up art installations to come in here and do some undercover murals.
Nice.
We cannot tell you, otherwise we'd have to kill you. But yeah, so it just is so rich in diversity. It's rich in, things to do, and that's why it's worthy of a zero day.
And you don't just feature local art here, you also feature local music and local food.
Yes, local music, local food. We have free music every Thursday. We don't ever charge a cover for that. That's not really in our agenda, but it's a lot of like acoustic bluegrass because we have an intimate space here. But yeah, it's like bluegrass, folk. We've had some like synthy pop. So we always are looking for local artists to highlight here, and really it's all about being a community hub.
And of course, your lip sync fight night.
Lip Sync Fight Club, yes. Oh, man. There was some really strange things that happened. I had someone come in dressed as Andre 3000 and did Hey Ya. You can find that video on our social media, actually, at Zeroday Brewing. Like how I slid that in there.
Nice. Like a pro.
But yes,
That was not shameless at all.
No, not at all.
it was beautiful.
Was that a / or backslash?
That's an at sign. What are those called? I don't know.
An at song.
I drink beer for a living.
I'm going to go ahead and put money on that. Dan is going to go back and isolate you saying, like how I slid that in there.
Can I be a soundbite,
And that's
please?
going to be on the soundboard.
I think you already are. And there's a local food vendor here tonight.
Yes.
Yes, JP's Pubside Cafe. I'm actually trying to eat the food not in front of the microphone as we've been talking this whole time.
I can hear it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Not really.
And
It
he
sounds
is
delicious.
a food truck that is based in Harrisburg, but does food across central PA. Right now, he's at an awesome table right behind us, and has some tacos and mac
Chicken
and cheese
tacos,
and
some awesome
quesadillas.
mac and cheese, also barbecue sandwiches. And
He's more known for the chicken truck, which is the mobile actual truck version of this that goes around. But he does all fried Oreos. Oh my gosh! I just want to
hey,
get my
Oreos.
inner fat.
I like
kid
the
on
fried
right now.
pickles.
Fried
pickles.
pickles.
Fried pickles are good.
Yeah.
Steph like lit up at
I
that.
love fried pickles.
I'll take the fried Oreos. You can have the fried pickles.
And then Sundays you have seafood every Sunday.
Every Sunday we have Seafood Sunday Fun Day, and we get rotating seafood dish from. We use local businesses. We've used the fishmonger in the market, a local restaurant, Cafe 1500. Like, we like to keep it kind of varied up. Since we don't have a kitchen, that has been, one of the biggest struggles. The struggle is real when it comes to food. Like, you don't think about it when you just want to make beer. Like, our passion lies in beer. Our passion does not lie in running a kitchen, but it's such a huge component of the business. So we're already running around thinking about how we can expand our offerings and get people in to do food and all that kind of stuff. Because you drink, you're hungry. We have snacks. We have the large ass pretzel, which is a large ass pretzel.
And
It's
you're always
bigger than your
always
face.
able to bring in whatever you want.
Yeah, we
That's cool.
BYOF. So you can bring in, if you want pho right down the street, or pho, I guess.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I had somebody yell at me for that before. There's a place in Seattle called What the Fuck.
I would love that.
Yeah. I don't know
What
if
the
it's like a big
fuck?
chain, but I know they have at least 2 out there. At least when I was there. Well, how long have you guys been open?
We opened April 8th of this year.
Oh, wow.
So yesterday, today.
Yeah, yesterday was 6 months.
6 months. Happy 6 months.
Wow.
And we're not pregnant yet.
Go figure. Yeah.
I love
We've
your
birthed a couple. We've birthed a couple firkins, but
And Dan, you are familiar with their opening day, correct?
Oh, was that the one with Stormtroopers that I... Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tried to block it out of my mind because I couldn't make it.
That was insane. I was actually sitting at the bar with Tierney of Stouts and Stilettos. Of
course, who's sitting right behind us right now.
Sitting right behind us.
Of course, Soching.
So sticky.
Oh, I wish you could hear that sound
Tierney,
bite.
you were just on the podcast.
Can't hear you.
She's not paying
She's
attention.
engrossed in her phone.
But we were sitting at the bar before we were even open, and I was like, oh, I love Star Wars. I want to do like a May the 4th beer, like a nerd, because I am.
That would be awesome.
But then we were talking about people we knew that dressed up like stormtroopers, and I was like, you know what I want? I want the mayor and the stormtrooper to cut the ribbon of the business. And I did it.
We didn't tell the
Made it
mayor
happen.
before he showed up.
That there was going to be a stormtrooper. Nice.
So we had the mayor, we had the our state rep Patty Kim, and we had the director of the Harrisburg Chamber of Commerce, and they loved it. They were like, "Can we get selfies with the stormtrooper?"
Nice.
It made every single news outlet that night, and we were the front page of the local paper, and we were the editorial of the local paper, and everything had the stormtrooper. And the funny thing was, our friend that was the stormtrooper was like, "You cannot tell anybody who I am."
Nice. Nice.
Lots of secrets.
Is he going to make a return visit for
I
the
was going to say the
1
1 year anniversary.
I think he should come back for the 1 year, but I don't know. Maybe we'll go Ewoks. Maybe we'll do Chewbacca.
I think you just have to have the secret stormtrooper. Nobody ever knows who he is. He just shows up for your
It's like the
anniversary
Stig.
events.
Nobody knows who he
He
is.
should just show up on a random night, not
Yeah.
even the
Just
anniversary,
out of
just some
nowhere, just
random
like-
night. See, I had to tweet at her, and then she heard me. That's how you communicate with Tierney. You send her a tweet.
This friend that you have that is a stormtrooper, is he part of the 501st Legion?
maybe.
Okay, I won't ask you to name any names. I like what they do.
Does he have
They do
red
great
hair?
things.
Yeah,
No.
This is
A
not 20
mustache.
questions.
The 501st
Loose lips
Legion.
sink ships.
Guess
There
who?
you go.
Yeah, slips.
No, the 501st
Starships,
Legion.
yeah.
They're a group of people that they dress up as stormtroopers for different events across
Mostly
the country.
charity. It's
Yeah.
usually charity. But he did me charity. He did me a solid on that one.
Oh, there you go.
Well, that's a good way to drum up publicity. That's pretty
Fun
awesome.
fact: stormtroopers work for beer. So if you ever,
Which is why they could never
need
hit
an
anything.
army, yeah.
That's why their aim is so bad.
Can
That's
I just
right.
point out that Theo has now said fun fact twice, and you haven't said it once?
I know.
snap.
Oh, snap.
Did you
Busted.
know?
Do I win?
You win. You
I
win the
scored?
podcast.
Did he break it?
He might win the podcast.
You're going to win the podcast.
Fantastic.
So we talked about the inspiration for the name Zeroday, but what made you guys want to open a brewery in the first place?
Didn't want to work in cubicles.
All right, that's a good reason.
We were sitting in the hot tub. Am I allowed to tell the hot tub story?
Tell the hot tub story.
Was it a hot tub time machine?
It was a hot tub time machine,
Awesome.
minus the Chernobyl.
Yeah, it was actually yesterday, and they
It
just
was
traveled
yesterday.
till now when everything was already done
That's
and up
right.
and running. So that easy.
Yeah.
That's how we hiked the trail, too.
Oh. No, that's how the guy did it in 45 days.
But yeah, we were sitting in the hot tub, and he was just kind of like, I don't.
I thought you meant the other hot tub story.
No, we're not telling that.
Not the naked hot tub stories. A lot of great ideas have come
Beerbusters
from
After
that hot tub. I can't believe more hasn't come from that hot tub. That's where I'm going to end that. But anyway, we were sitting there, and he just looks at me. It was like in the morning too. It wasn't even like a late night sexy hot tub. It was a morning weekend hot tub. And he was just
Probably
like, he's like, I can't do this anymore. I was like, what? Be married to me. And thought he was asking me for a divorce at that point. And
No, worse, he was asking you to start a business.
he was like, well, what happened was he goes, I just don't want to work in a cubicle for the next 30 years. And I asked him just point blank, what do you want to do? And he looked at me, and without even thinking about it, he just goes, I want to make beer. So I looked at him, and I said, well, let's fucking do it. And then we actually talked about it outside of the hot tub, and I was like,
and it was still a good idea.
it was still a good idea.
We invited our lawyer into the hot tub.
I don't know if you ever watched the Brood and the Berg documentary that we have sound bites in, but first step of opening a brewery, get a damn good lawyer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he wanted to do it, and I said, I fully support you. Like I love drinking it, and I'm interested in the flavors. Like I love creating these beers, and he has this amazing ability to take, I want to drink A&W root beer, and I want a beer that tastes like this, and actually translate that into, which I wish we would have gotten in on this root beer craze. We did one years ago, just homebrew, had I known. Anyway, I digress.
And you'd be owned by Pabst.
Or Four Loko.
Yeah, true.
Oh, God, for a loco.
But yeah, so we played around with it. We did like 6 months of blind samples. Like we would drop samples to a group of people we knew and didn't know, and they would submit feedback via online, like of the beers. Like, but we asked questions like, "What does this make you feel like?" or "What would you eat with this?" and like that kind of stuff. So then we just did it, and then it was like finding the money and marketing it. And
I really like the
We
blind
opened.
taste test, because I think a lot of homebrewers that want to go commercial get caught in that bubble where all their friends and family
your
say,
friends
your
don't
beer
wanna
is
say
great,
anything
your
bad.
beer is great, even if they don't like it, just because they want to be,
Yeah, it's kind of
encouraging.
annoying. I prefer people who are like this.
Like,
This
no, this
just-
is terrible, you're
this
doing
sucks.
it wrong. Yeah.
it's hard to get.
I gave away a lot of beer that just didn't work.
It
Right.
helped us though. Like
Yeah.
and
Making bad beer, or not bad beer. I don't think I ever made a terrible beer, but making a flawed beer is the only way to make a great beer.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
and just handing it all out, and we did a lot of pop-up events where we would hand out like the beers once we got past that 6-month time period. But it really helped us. And
Hey, does anyone want a beer while?
is it
he's
beer
here?
time?
We can make it beer
Make
time.
a beer time.
We interrupt this interview to bring our next beer.
We don't want full pints, though. We can't do 8
Bo,
full
say hi.
pints.
Hello, everyone.
And
Theo always is like, you need beer in front of you.
I really don't like empty glasses.
What's that? Sensophilia? Is that what it is? The
Sensilicophobia.
sphere of.
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
I start twitching.
Fun fact,
Pronunciation.
Senesilicophobia is the fear of an empty glass.
Senesilicophobia.
I think that's how you say it. I don't even remember.
I think penicillin cures that.
I think it does, yeah.
I'm allergic.
I think hot tubs cause it. You don't clean
You
them
know,
often
yeah.
enough.
Ooh.
So you guys are in quite a unique building here as well. It's unique now. It had a unique past. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
So we share a building with a independent cinema. It's like an art house cinema. But we now occupy the once vacant caboose that was a plasma donation center in the 90s. Sat vacant for about 20 years before we moved in. And even before that, it was a grocery store in the 70s. So when we first were looking at this property, we walked in and I was like, this is like Boogie Nights meets Saw.
Perfect.
It was
There were
scary.
biohazard signs everywhere.
There were.
It was badass, yeah.
You should have just kept all of that and made that
Yeah.
like your theme.
There was
know, right?
medical equipment.
You might die, but we have beer.
We ripped down everything and just rebuilt the inside from the ground up. And these nice pumpkin orange walls, and all the wood. We actually uncovered the ceiling, which is all of this original pine. It was this nasty yellow drop ceiling. And I thought, we're gonna take that down. We're gonna have to spray it all black. It's gonna just look like a black hole. And we uncovered all that wood, and we got to clean it up, and it just looks beautiful. But we really lucked out with that.
Well, it looks really nice in here. It's a good vibe.
Thanks.
And-
And I love that you can see into the brewery, but
Yep.
not too much.
Yeah.
Like
Just a
I
little-
hate
They
when
show you some stainless and
yeah. Well, I
just a little leg, you know.
I interned at Iron Hill, and I always felt like when people were walking by, I just felt like I was like in a zoo. I was
Yeah.
like the animal, and
Yeah.
I was like,
Yep.
It's-
so you have just enough
Well,
privacy.
this window back here by the restrooms.
Yeah.
You
So
can
sometimes
see
people-
the whole thing, and when I'm back there, it feels like the lion's in his natural environment.
Right.
Well, I don't know how Colin does it.
A lot of times, like my
Yeah, we're
pants
right
don't
in the
fit
middle.
right, and I'm showing butt crack to
He
customers.
shows butt crack to everybody, so if you ever want to see Theo's butt, you should just come in any day that he's brewing.
So what days are you brewing?
Right now, actually.
Beerbusters After Dark.
Yeah.
Again.
Whenever we can. I mean, so
When a tank is empty, we brew.
So on average, how often do you brew?
We're at about 2 times a week.
Three
right
times
now.
a week? Yeah. Nice. Very nice.
that's the perk of at least having a 7-barrel system. I mean, we don't have to be constantly around the clock. I know, like, Molly Pitcher for a while was operating on a Sabco, basically.
362
He
or
said
something
it like
that?
a dozen times.
I think it was almost
lot.
as many days as there are in a year.
Yeah, I remember
We got our original equipment. We got used equipment. We drove to Canada. We picked this up. It was old Molson tanks. And this is like not a lot of people know this, but we picked up these old Molson tanks. It was like what, like 3 barrels or something?
There's a
like
3.5 barrel system. Yeah.
that. We got stopped by customs.
Well, it wasn't even a system. It was just the tanks that we were going to build a system.
They thought that we were
Was it
going to
a meth lab?
moonshine.
Oh, nice.
And apparently we just didn't know you needed an official like corporate charter to import manufacturing
Like, there's
equipment.
A bunch of tanks and stuff.
No,
I mean,
yeah,
come on.
we just had a pickup truck with a bunch of stainless steel tanks in the back driving through customs.
I thought we were going to get it all confiscated, but we were
in
like,
a
no.
blizzard on top of that, yeah.
It was so bad, but yeah. So we originally were going to start a lot smaller, but then once we just kind of put those numbers back into the system, we're like, no, and we're already at capacity pretty much at 7 barrels. We just added another fermenter. We're looking at getting more slimline fermenters to fit in this space. So it's a good problem to have, but we want to be able to supply our customers in the tasting room, but we also want to have taps outside of the tasting room. But our biggest thing is we don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, and we don't want quality to suffer for that. So we're not going to do that until we're ready. So right now, you throw it in your car and take it to your watering hole of choice, and
That's
we
why
have
lifting 3 metal chairs is nothing to her.
Yeah.
I'm stacked, not just my titties.
She's been drinking brew team. Or beer team. Brew team, whatever it was called. I don't
need
remember anymore.
routine. I don't know why. I just have this like really weird mental picture of
We
this
should do a
beer,
commercial for it.
almost very like. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah, probably a good idea. I had you mentioned taps. I had one other question before we go to drink. Did I see right that you have 20 taps?
Yeah, we have 20.
We do have 20.
Wow.
I like the brewer's response.
Yeah, we got
Watch
20
me
what?
have 20 unique beers on.
We've got big taps. The reason why we did 20 is because it's easier to do it from the get-go than it is to retrofit. So our walk-in is directly behind all those taps. So the beer literally goes, maybe like 10 feet?
It's 25 feet from where the grain comes in the door to where it's poured out of the tap.
Wow.
Nice. That's pretty
So
cool.
we figured, why not do more? Like, a lot of them are mirrored right now, so we have stations. It makes it easier when we're busy, like for our staff. Because when we were planning out the design of everything, we wanted to make sure that, you know, we could handle like the people passing the beer over the bar and all that. But yeah, 20 taps. So hopefully
This time next year, I plan on having 20 unique things on it.
Wow.
I think we have 9 right now.
We have 9.
Wow.
And the seasonal stuff is like always changing. Right now, it was mango habanero, but the response to the mango habanero has been so great that I think we just got cases of habaneros delivered, so I think we're gonna.
The
make
farmer
a
is
lot
also
more.
sitting right behind us. Yeah.
Mike.
Hi, Mike.
In his Beer Buster shirt.
Oh yeah.
Mike's awesome.
He's so fancy.
You already know.
He also brought me like 8 million pumpkins.
I think you brought apples too.
Yeah.
He did bring apples. I saw the
It
apples.
pays to know a farmer.
We love farmers.
Yeah, we're doing a
Bum-ba-dum.
our next beer that we're actually coming up with. This is my shameless plug. It's a rye saison.
Nice.
But we're doing a firkin of that with his apples.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds
So
really
it's gonna
good.
be kind of a rye apple.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Nice and fall.
Yes.
But
Play
not
it.
pumpkin.
Play it down.
But
Not
not pumpkin.
pumpkin.
But not
Apples
pumpkin.
are okay. Not pumpkin.
Steph wants me to play this.
It's
so.
time.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
All right. So we had a beer magically appear in front of us.
Yeah, I've already been drinking it.
I haven't. I saved my
I've been
first sip.
drinking it.
Which one are we starting with?
Wits End.
Wits
All right.
End. Okay.
So, Brewer, tell
Theo,
us a
you
little
have
bit
to
about
talk
this
now.
beer.
Yes, sir. Is this thing on? You want me to tell you about the beer? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you want, we could just sit
You
and
are
drink
the
it
one
too.
that made it, right?
It's
So-
wet.
Or
Yeah.
were you on Vicodin for this one too?
That happens. That happens sometimes. So this is our take on a Belgian white beer. Wheat beers are my least favorite style. They've never been something that appeal to me.
He
drink
refuses to eat bananas.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I also don't like bananas.
there
so
you go.
like the
Yeah,
heffies aren't
whole
really my
kinda,
thing.
yeah.
Is it your least favorite to drink or to make, or both?
To drink. Yeah, I don't. Making them's fine. Actually, like a Heffy would be great because you can turn those around in no time and people love them. So
Yeah.
it's less time in the tank and more money in my
and
pocket.
less glycol too.
Right.
'Cause they love those nice high fermentation.
But, you know, part of what we're doing here is making things that we love and things that we're passionate about. So making something just because it'll sell and just because it'll make money and because it makes business sense. I'm not saying we never will, but right now, the reason that we're successful, the reason people are drawn to us is because we're doing things that we're passionate about. So I make things that I legitimately want to drink. But getting back to Wits End, which is our best-selling
He's
beer.
so yelly.
He's talking about beer. Of course he is.
He told me I had to talk into this microphone.
You're doing a really good
You
job.
should be used to handling those kinds of things.
Oh, it's a little bit bigger than I'm used to.
That's what she
There's
said.
another soundbite.
Yeah, so this is
You
our...
should put them together. Oh my god.
Sorry.
I got a tiny one
I'm
over here.
sorry. I'm just going to be quiet and let him talk about the damn beer.
Tangent.
yours has protection. I like that.
Yeah, that's because I get a little violent. I like it
Steph's
rough.
is ribbed for her pleasure.
So Wits End is our take on a Belgian-style white beer.
Sorry.
We brew it with coriander and curacao orange peel and a Belgian white yeast or a Belgian yeast.
I got him off top.
Yeah,
It's very distracted now.
Yeah, people seem to like it, so we're
It's
gonna keep making
actually
it.
our
Yeah.
best-selling
It's our
beer.
best-selling beer. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
It's,
this is your. Oh, really?
Not the IPA.
it's not an
Not the
IPA.
IPA.
It's not an
Yeah,
IPA.
That's amazing.
IPA is second, but this is by and far our best-selling beer.
Yeah.
Wow.
This mixed with we serve this mixed with our ginger beer. We call it a Midtown Mule,
Ah.
Nice.
and between those two, it's what we make and serve the most of.
Yeah. People love it. We do get a lot of requests for traditional, like, Heffy, like those types of things, but it's just like our kind of stance, and I won't say we'll never make it, but the whole pumpkin thing, we just don't like pumpkin beer, so I feel like we wouldn't be great candidates to make that,
Yeah.
So.
There's a lot of
Make what
people
you
out
wanna
there
drink.
making really good heffies, really good pumpkin beers. We're not trying to make things just because necessarily people drink them. We're trying to make things that we want to drink,
And I don't think brewing a style of beer that you don't particularly like is not a good place to start to end up with a good quality product. I mean,
Right.
because you're just not going to care,
And we've been brewing this beer since 2009.
9, yeah.
So on the homebrew side, it was weird taking that step from 5 gallons to 7 barrels, but it finally kind of learning the system, learning how to finesse her to get her to do exactly what we want her to do. But this beer is one of our strongest selling beers.
What do you guys think?
I like it. You really get the zestiness from the coriander out of it, which I really, really like.
And then you get the orange in the finish.
Right.
It finishes with the citrus.
And it's actually this is a wit beer you would drink, not being a fan of the style.
Right, and it's actually not that's why I say it's a Belgian-inspired wit beer.
Right.
It's not actually a 2-style wit beer.
Okay.
But it's close enough that we put it in that category.
Just put it in there, yeah.
We kind of
We make beer
that we like to drink and try to make it easy for people picking it out.
We don't
you
figure
need to
out what
be-
style things are until they
being
hit the tabs.
constrained by style guidelines is not. I mean, why?
Right,
Make the
yeah.
beer you want to drink.
Unless you want to win a 10
I-
medal.
well,
so
yeah.
If that's why you're brewing,
And
that's
there's
fine.
nothing wrong
been
with
a
saying I'm
really-
going to brew a traditional wit beer. I'm going to brew a traditional whatever. But
It's been a really long time since I've gone, okay, I'm going to try and brew this style.
yeah,
That's
That's why
just-
there's
it's not
style
how we do it. Yeah.
guideline.
Yeah.
It's to guide you. But
So if you followed it to the T, everybody would make the same version of it. There's
Right.
no room to experiment then.
We're not German.
well, there's nothing wrong with that either.
No weird Reinheitsgebot or whatever.
15, 16.
Right, nights.
That was well pronounced.
I like flavors.
I like flavor. I like flavors.
37.
37 flavors. But this is I like wit beers and Belgian wheat beers and that style as well. And this is definitely more towards, I guess, what you would say like an American take on that
Yes,
style,
yeah.
because it has the citrus side and it has.
And I
it's
think
a little
that's
more
what appeals
crisp.
to people.
Yeah, and it's a
about
little
it. Yeah.
easier drinking, a little more refreshing. And I like it because I like both sides of that coin,
Yeah.
but I think I prefer this direction of it.
So this beer,
Critical condition.
I brewed it. I made the beer that I wanted to drink with absolutely no guidelines on I'm going to make any kind of style. It was just what I was in the mood to make. And I think it was around August when I made it the first
I
time.
think so.
So it's got a little bit of everything in it. We ended up calling it an Imperial Amber Ale because it's an 8% alcohol beer. And we brew it with a Belgian candy syrup, which adds a little bit of, first of all, it adds sugar, which adds alcohol, but it also adds kind of a residual caramel sweetness, which is cool.
But then there's that slightly bitter finish, too.
Yeah, it is actually a pretty highly hopped beer. You don't really see it in the when you taste it, but there's a lot of complexity there. We use 3 different hops by the time it's done. Yeah.
There's a lot of things, I think, vying for attention.
Yeah, it's malty, it's sweet, it's bitter.
Yeah, it's got all that going on, but it's balanced
But it's
well.
balanced,
It presents all of that very well.
And as you're drinking it, as you get through a pint, it kind of changes. It evolves.
I like it a little bit warmer.
Yeah, I do too.
Like I like when it kind of warms up.
I wish it was a little bit warmer. Sorry. I don't know where it came from. Sorry.
But yeah, like it just has kind of some like coffee notes, but not roasty like you're drinking a jet black cup of joe, which is weird for me. And everyone's palate's different, but like when I drink this, like I get a little bit of like caramel, like vanilla-y without being cloyingly sweet. And I
a little
get
bit of licorice.
yes, like a black licorice.
And
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
just sweet enough. Like it almost teases you because you think it's gonna stick around, and then all of a sudden, like, nope, bye.
It goes away.
It cleans up pretty well, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't linger and make you feel like you're drinking just this like hateful beer.
This actually has a hot tub story too.
This does have a hot tub story. So
oh boy.
We had home brewed this, and we were with 2 of our friends, one of which was celebrating his 40th birthday at the time. And we were drinking this home brew. And he got a little schnockered. And this was before we had built the deck, so we were sitting in our ghetto hot tub, which was cinder blocked steps. He goes to get out of the hot tub and falls and cuts the back of his ankle.
Oh, God.
So instead of a cab home, we got a cab to the hospital.
Wow.
Right? Because we knew it was kind of a higher ABV beer, and he was used to drinking Heineken. So his 2 equated out to like what we would need, like 4 or 5. And so he got taken to the hospital in a cab.
Blood everywhere.
On his 40th birthday, he was bleeding everywhere. And so the day after,
he didn't need a lot of anesthesia. He was just out.
He was my boss, and you weren't allowed to hang out with your boss. So going into work the next day was also awkward because I was like, "Oh,
what'd you do to your ankle?"
They finally know the truth behind it because now we've told the story of the beer, but.
And he's not your boss.
And we named the beer
not my
critical
boss.
condition.
We named the beer critical condition because it landed him in the hospital since he tripped on our ghetto hot tub set.
And it really does not drink like an 8% beer. It's a pretty drinkable beer. Yeah.
It could.
Well,
Although
I
will
challenge
say,
you not to finish it. We have to.
I want to let it
until
warm
gets
up.
Warm.
Yeah.
I will say though, we often say like these high alcohol beers and say like it doesn't taste like that. It doesn't taste like that percent. It doesn't taste. But I would suspect like this is a beer. If you didn't tell me what the ABV was, I'd sip it and think this is probably higher than I think it is because it kind of has that character.
It has that.
Because you get the sweetness.
Yeah, I
like
think it's the sweetness.
There's a lot of fermentables in there going on, and yeah.
Were you guys? So you came after the Little Big Beer Fest. Was the Saison 28 still on tap when you guys were here?
We had it.
That one was deceptive.
That was deceptive. Yes.
That was a 10%.
And we were drinking that after
the Little Big Beer Fest.
And then that's funny too because we had just kind of opened right around there, and we didn't think we could pull off a big enough beer to actually go to that. And then that thing comes out. I feel like it's Tierney's fault.
We designed that as a 7% beer, and it was the first time we had used that yeast, and it
got a little excited.
And I just nicknamed it the panty dropper because after like 2 of those, you'd be dropping panties left and right.
And Tierney was here, every night drinking it?
Yes.
By the way, if you'd like to listen to our shenanigans at the Little Big Beer Fest, you can visit beerbusterspodcast.com.
Good plug. So while we're letting the critical condition warm up, another beer has magically appeared in front of us. What is it? I heard Dolce.
This is our Dolce Vita.
Dolce Vita.
It's a chocolate hazelnut sweet stout.
I like all of those words.
Yes.
Oh my God, it smells amazing.
Holy crap, that smells.
Oh, I love it.
It means the sweet life in Italian. We love Italy. Like Theo's part Italian. I don't know really what that means. I guess he's like a fraction Italian. But we've been there. We've visited Italy. But it's the sweet life, and we wanted a sweet stout, and it's chocolate and hazelnut. We use Hershey's.
You just put Hershey syrup right in the cup, right? That's what it smells like.
It's actually not syrup.
It's cocoa powder, yeah.
This has been our trickiest beer. We brewed 36 batches of this.
In a row?
On the homebrew side.
Try not to.
37. Oh my. We brewed 36 batches of this on the small scale just to get it right. And we're, on 2 hands of the batches that we've brewed since we opened. But we actually add the cocoa powder into that. So it's a fun beer. It's real chocolate. It's real natural hazelnut. And it is sweet, sexy dessert in a glass.
It is awesome.
It is.
And I feel like you've nailed the body. This was one of the beers that
Yeah, I did.
No, I'm going to give you some constructive feedback. I think
Please,
the first
yeah.
time I ever had this beer, like
Yeah,
I
more
really
bodies.
liked the flavor, but it was thin.
Yep.
I was like, I want this to be creamier. I want this to be more.
It needed more protein.
It
to
needed
bulk up a little
yeah.
bit.
It took honestly, this has been the biggest challenge on the scaling. And I feel like this batch is the closest to where
What
we want
we
this beer
wanted
to
it
be.
to be.
We wouldn't have released it on any in here at all if it was bad. But it took us a few tries on the large scale. You know, when you're adding a pound of cocoa powder versus 20 pounds of cocoa powder, it's a little bit different.
It's a labor of love. This is our most troublesome child.
So this is completely random, and I thought of this when I first took a smell of this beer. The aroma of this beer, Steph, do you remember when we were like 14 and went to
I had
Ocean
black hair.
Yes, we went to Ocean
and I almost
City.
dyed my hair red, hot pink that trip.
Yeah,
I remember that trip.
You remember that trip?
Yeah.
And Grandma was there, and
Yep.
a bunch of other people.
Yep.
For some reason, the
I
aroma.
remember that trip.
You remember that trip? You were there too. Yeah.
In his time machine, hot
Yes.
tub time machine.
We were very goth then.
We were. Well, there's a picture of me from that trip.
I was.
in my,
we
like-
were both pale white on
Like
the beach.
cut off plaid shirt with my Offspring
we had-
shirt under,
yeah, we
holding
had-
your Burt doll.
Yes.
Did you keep
I
all
still
of
have
this
my
equipment
Burt
in your Jenko jeans back pocket?
We definitely
No, but
had
we did
Zinco
make,
jeans.
We did make music videos.
We made music
I did
videos.
not wear those.
Where
stupid
are
jeans.
these and where? Like, I need
wore
to see it.
fishnets. I did not wear those stupid jeans.
I
It
wore
was
those stupid
fishnets and
jeans.
Docs.
I wore
the
those stupid jeans.
all the time.
And I'm still wearing
I'd wear them for
Docs.
like 3 months
Some
without
things have not
washing them,
changed.
like every day. When I was in
Anyway,
high school.
what does it
the,
smell
the
like?
aroma of this,
Dolce Vita.
the aroma of this, for some reason, as soon as I smelled it, I was instantly reminded of that trip, and I have no idea why. Like, I haven't thought of that in years. And
It
just
kind of reminds me of like breakfast cereal, and I remember we took the little tiny boxes of all the different breakfast cereals, and you'd always fight to get the good ones.
I think I always got stuck with the shitty ones because fuck both.
I think
Well,
there
you
was
were
a
the
store.
youngest, so
There was a store on the boardwalk, like a Spencer's Hot Topic,
Chat
but it was
Street.
like an independent
yeah,
thing.
where we bought the hair dye.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where I got my
and we
Manic
bought
Panic
the-
purple.
Yes,
like-
Manic Panic.
Yeah,
the hot
it's-
pink.
it was called.
yes.
It was called Chat Street. Yeah,
That may have
And
been
is
what it
this
was
what
called.
it smelled like?
That's what it was. Something in there smelled like this.
I'm gonna use the Google machine.
The Google machine.
And that's also where we bought like the fake weed cigarettes, or at least I did.
Yep, it was called Chat Street in Ocean City, Maryland, and that's where you could get Docs and Shiny Docs and Manic Panic and tie-dye things and all of the alternative stuff that your parents were like, "Where did you get this?" I'm like, "You gave me the money for it. Thanks."
Wow.
And apparently that store smells like this beer.
Yeah.
So Dolce Vita.
I'm just glad someone else remembers that store.
Oh, I remember
I'm
that
from Maryland originally, so it's like
nice. So Dolce Vita.
Yeah. We
like,
also
I wanna
do
talk about
this
my
with a scoop of vanilla ice cream
Oh.
as a float,
Whoa.
which is great. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
baby floats. Maybe we'll make baby floats as like the. And the ice cream is actually made right next door.
Yeah, it's made in this building.
We
cool.
have
Oh, really? Wow.
so we're not only sharing space with the cinema, but in between the cinema and the brewery, there's a very small production creamery called Urban Churn, and he makes all of the ice cream in like the old style and the old churns, and we carry their ice cream to do the floats. So that's kind of cool too. Just thought about that.
That sounds awesome.
Okay, I'm ready to play a game now. I got my beers.
How are we doing that?
I guess we got to do
Put me
We're
to
doing
work.
that.
thing.
Yeah, I got to do something now.
Yeah, it's okay. Wayne, are your notes ready?
Yeah.
Should I hit the
got it
music?
ready. Sure, why not?
All right, pick a number. 1, 2, 3,
Make
or 4.
it the cool music.
The cool one
Ah,
with the cool kids. There it is. Oh yeah, that's the stuff.
A night at the Roxbury.
Yes. Cheers, Internet, and welcome to Happy Fun Time Games, the only podcast game segment made with 100% grass-fed, free-range Ford Pintos. Today, we will be breaking our players into 2 opposing teams to test how well they know each other.
Oh dear.
Yes,
Not
or
one
at
of
least,
these.
or at least each other's taste in beer. Our guests tonight, partners in crime, Theo and Brandalynn, will be vying for the glory of Team Zeroday, and lifelong cousins and longtime business associates and drinking partners, my esteemed colleagues Dan and Steph, representing Team Beer Busters in today's succinctly titled contest, The Drinking Game. So how this is going to work, and you'll all need writing implements, so go ahead and pick a color marker that you like. I will pose a question, and then each of you will write down your answer to the question, and then what you think your teammates' answer to that question will be. And we'll see if you can successfully get into each other's heads to earn those precious, precious points, redeemable for varying levels of internet adulation.
This is going to sink faster than the Titanic.
I didn't know there was going to be internet adulation involved.
Well, there may or may not be. Depends on how well you do. So, my first question today, so you're going to write down your answer and then what you think your teammate's going to say.
Okay.
Is if you were stranded on a desert island and could have only one beer for the rest of your life, what beer would it be? Go ahead, take your time, think about it. While you're thinking about that, I'm going to tell our listeners about Danziger Hoppenbier, which is an old world beer style from Dansk, also known as Danzig in Poland. It's a funky, heavy behemoth of a beer. Essentially, after putting a boatload of malt through an infusion mash, the brewer commences a boil that lasts up to 19 or 20 hours and results in a saccharine liquor that is about 50% sugar. It is then spontaneously fermented in moldy cellars for months, where it develops a healthy moldy coat of its own.
Moldy cellars? What is happening?
The brew is then filtered from the mold and sent off for sale. It was used as a fortifier, a beer seasoning syrup, and a restorative tonic. Did you know? Does everybody have their answers?
Yes.
No, I'm still working.
Oh my goodness.
I'm changing my answers.
I thought that would have been more than enough time.
No, well, you
We
know.
can go first.
He's a little slow.
He's a little slow. He's a little slow. All right, we'll let Steph and Dan go first. So we'll start
All right,
ladies
that works.
first. Steph, what did you think Dan's answer to that question would be? His desert island beer.
Purple Monkey Dishwasher.
Of course.
Oh, and you're absolutely correct. And Dan, what did you think Steph's desert island beer was?
Habanero Sculpin.
Habanero Sculpin. Oh, 2 for 2.
Air high five.
2 for 2. Now, let's see if our married couple can do as well as our cousins at the table. Brandalynn, what is Theo's desert island beer? Troganator, Theo. Is that the right or wrong answer?
Fun fact, I wrote Troganator and crossed it out and switched it to Rolling Rock.
Wow. You fail. You fail.
You did that on purpose.
I feel like
All right.
that should be a negative point.
Chance to redeem yourself, Theo. What did you think Brandalynn's desert island beer
I
was?
said Perpetual IPA.
That was my second choice. I went little something something.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness, ode for 2 does not bode well for the game or your marriage.
Good for second choices, I guess.
All right, let's see if we can do a little better. We're going to move on to question number 2. And this question is also about beer, obviously. What was your first craft beer love? The beer that got you to stop drinking the macros and start taking beer seriously. Everybody write down your answer.
Is Rolling Rock still not an acceptable answer?
That is not an acceptable answer. It usually isn't. And while you guys are thinking, I'm going to tell you about Narke Baver, a beer made by Narke Kultur Bryggeri in Sweden. It is a brew that is made with castoreum. What is castoreum, you may regret wondering? It is a secretion extracted from a gland situated uncomfortably close to the anus of beavers. It has a strong odor, unsurprisingly, and a very bitter taste. The beer pours a deep red color with a rich head, often from taps designed to look like urinals, and apparently smells like paint, asphalt, and alcohol. And beaver ass.
Who would do that?
Beaver ass. Everybody have their answers?
I
Is it
don't
weird
know.
that I'm turned on right now?
It's weird that I respect you for that. Okay, so we're gonna
I would try it.
We're gonna start with our guests today, or for this question tonight, or whatever time it happens to be. So we'll start with Brandalynn. What was Theo's first craft beer love?
Mad Elf.
Mad Elf. Theo, what did you write?
Oh, no, Hopback.
Oh my God! Oh my God! A lot of trogs
I'm
going
seeing
on.
a theme
Trogs.
here.
A lot of trogs going on.
We're Central Pennsylvania.
All right, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Harrisburg in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean that's really kind of where it came.
All right. This is you're running out of chances to save your marriage. Theo, what was Brandalynn's first craft beer love?
I said Troganator.
That is
Again?
correct.
Oh my God! They get a point. Ding 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 ding. All hope.
I remember the night, too.
You were sitting there with me.
The funny thing
Is
is...
Was it in a
another
hot tub?
story?
No. The funny thing is, this actually happened about 50 feet from where Trogs Brewery is right now.
Yes.
It was at the timeshare right next door.
The Blue Green by the Hershey Park, and we were there, and I had only ever drank
this was,
Bud
what,
Light.
10 years before Trogs even moved there?
Yeah, it was
Not 10
Not
years,
10.
not-
You do have a hot tub time machine.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Troganator was my first craft beer,
Yeah,
and it
I
was the
remember
first
the
beer
night.
that I really fell in love with. And that really opened up the fact that there was like actual flavor in beer. Because again, I only drank beer because it was there, and it was Bud Light. So I still will drink a Bud Light now and again. Don't hate me.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
What would Zach say?
So now we're going to move on to Team Beer Busters, who are in the lead by 2-1 right now.
Damn it.
So, Steph, what was Dan's first craft beer love?
I have no idea. I just put Yingling. I don't know.
That sort of, kind
don't know.
of, maybe technically counts. Dan,
Yeah,
what did you
are we
write?
still
Yingling! Oh my God, that's what he wrote.
Are we still calling Yingling craft? Is that
It is now.
I only wrote it down because they had to change the definition of craft for it.
Oh my God! Because I was like, I don't know. He's gonna say Yingling.
All that
I bet he's
matters
gonna
was
say
they got
Yingling.
the answer. They always wrote the same thing. Okay, Dan, what was Steph's first craft beer love? I think I know
I talk
this.
about it all the time.
I know, and I forget because I don't pay attention to things. I just said Boston Lager.
Harpoon IPA.
I was going to say Harpoon, yep.
Right,
All right.
city, wrong brewery.
So you don't get a point there, but that's okay.
Although they don't brew that in Boston. They
Okay.
brew it in,
So we're
in
tied up
Pennsylvania.
now, right?
No, you guys are
We're
behind.
down
You have 1 point.
We have 3 points.
Okay.
And they have 3 points.
They're assholes.
Yes.
Game on.
Game on. And this is our third and final question. So the best you can do right now is tie the
tie.
game.
I wasn't even supposed
But
to
you
be
could
here
get bonus
today.
points.
Nice. Nice. All right. This is our third and final question.
I can't. Everything I think of is inappropriate.
I know.
I can't think of it.
It's
Sorry.
me. I'm sorry. Not
If you
sorry.
could have any style of beer, not a particular beer, but any style of beer right now, this very second, in the whole world, any style of beer, what beer would you have?
What beer would I
Well,
have
I
or
know
she have?
Dan's
Both.
not going to put sour.
Your
beer.
answer first and her answer next. While everybody's thinking, I'm going to tell you about a funny thing that happened to Tom Bowder, a student at Oxford who demanded a glass of beer at an exam, citing an old tradition. As traditions are respected by the English, he got his beer but was immediately fined for breaking another ancient rule, according to which students must wear swords during exams. In Sierra Leone's diamond mines, precious stones are examined in beer. According to British geologists, it is only in beer that the visual qualities of diamonds become clearly evident. And since people are still thinking, I'm going to tell you this third and final fun fact. To get the excellent, tasteful marmoreal beef, the Japanese from the small town of Matsuzaki water their cows with beer and give them a massage every morning. Such meat costs 6 to 8 times more than usual beef.
Did you say water your cows?
Water your cows
Is
With
that
beer.
something people do?
with beer in
With
Japan,
beer.
and they massage them every morning.
That's why Wagyu beef is, or however you pronounce it, is so delicious.
And expensive.
Exactly.
Its fat marbling is exquisite.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Everybody have their answers? Okay.
Yeah.
To tie the game, we'll start with Theo.
Yes.
What style of beer does Brandalynn want right now?
I said Saison.
And the answer was...
Pale ale.
Oh my goodness! Oh, things are not going well. All right, well, at least to save some face, Brandalynn, what style of beer does Theo want right now?
I said an Imperial Amber.
I also said pale ale. So we are both in pale ale.
Wait. They should at least get a half point for that.
Yeah, at least our preferred styles are the same.
I'll give you a half point for that. A half point for that.
I figured I'd just keep the trend of going awfully wrong
That's
going.
fine. That's fine. If you find something that works, go with it. Okay, so now this is just for bragging rights. We'll start with Dan. What style of beer does Steph want right at this very moment?
I said anything spicy.
Anything spicy?
I put chili beer.
Okay, we'll call that fair enough. That works. Okay, Steph, what style of beer
Well,
does
I
Dan
was
want?
gonna say a stout, but I'm like, he's drinking a stout, so I said IPA.
IPA.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yes!
5 points, ladies and gentlemen. Our big winners, Team Beer Busters. 5
never
That's not
win the
fair.
team
You have
games.
practice.
points.
We don't. No, we're losers at this game. We never win.
And with
Well-
1.5 points.
You just won right now.
Yay. Go Team Beer Busters.
I'm taking my ball and going home.
I think Theo's going to rage quit.
Is he gonna rage
It'll be
quit?
our first rage quit.
Well, he can't rage quit yet because
No.
Is there a Monopoly board I could flip over somewhere?
Know your beers.
so there was music there, but Steph, what
I
do you
heard
got?
it. So let's talk about the firkins.
Yes.
That's right. A firkin, which is derived from the Middle Dutch word "veerdkin," meaning fourth, is a small barrel of beer that is 1/4 the size of a regular barrel of beer, as opposed to a standard beer barrel, which contains 1 117.34 liters and roughly 30.96 gallons. A firkin full of cask ale will contain a volume of 40.91 liters or 10.79 gallons. A smaller version of a firkin, known as a pin, holds 5.4 gallons. There will be a quiz. A firkin is typically dedicated to housing real ale or cask-conditioned ale, beer that has not been cold filtered, pasteurized, and carbonated by outside equipment. The beer is naturally carbonated by its resident yeast. When wort, your cooked mixture of water, barley, and hops, has yeast added, fermentation begins, and this is primary fermentation. After primary fermentation, when the yeast are spent, the beer is transferred to another vessel for secondary fermentation. And then the beer is filtered or bottled or kegged.
Should I be taking notes?
Yes.
Okay.
In some cases, secondary fermentation occurs inside a wooden or metal firkin instead. The beer then takes on the characteristics of the firkin, whether it's the wood flavor or perhaps the characteristics of other ingredients added like fresh hops, fruits, cacao nibs, or peppers. Once secondary fermentation is completed inside the firkin, the beer matures there as well. It is not transferred. Since secondary fermentation and maturation have both occurred inside the firkin, brewers often don't know how the final product will look,
That is
feel,
a very
or
true
taste.
story. Yeah.
It's very scary.
Also, individual yeast
That's also what
strains.
makes them fun.
Someone
That's
asked
true.
me, what's this firkin going to taste like? I said it could taste like crap.
It
You
could
paid
taste
for
like
it.
beaver anus.
I hope it does.
Individual yeast strains work differently depending on the firkin type, temperature, ingredients, like a length of fermentation, and so on. So when tapping a finished firkin for the first time, you just never know what you're going to get. Generally, firkin conditioning beer goes by the name of cask ale. The cask ale will be warmer, usually about 50-55 degrees Fahrenheit, than your standard beer, simply because the yeast cannot carbonate the beer very well if the surrounding temperature is too low. When ready to serve, the firkin is removed from refrigerated storage and set in a special holder called a rack, which holds a firkin at a 30-degree angle, so the beer will gravity flow from the cask. Next, the firkin is vented to release excess carbonation. A small wooden peg called a spile is driven through the special cork at the top of the cask using a wooden mallet. The vent allows the beer to flow out of the keg once it is tapped. After the cask is vented, it is wrapped in a cooling jacket and allowed to sit undisturbed to achieve proper temperature for serving. To tap the firkin, which there's a video on Beer Buster's Facebook page that you can see this happening.
Which is a much better job than the last video of you tapping a firkin.
Whatevs. A wooden mallet is used to drive the tap through the plug called a keystone on the front of the firkin. The portion of the tap that is driven into the firkin is perforated to strain out some of the solids of the beer. The brew is then served straight from the firkin. Some bars serve cask-conditioned brews from the firkin using a beer engine rather than a gravity flow. A cask-conditioned beer also has a very short shelf life and should be served within a couple of hours of being tapped. So drink up, bitches.
You know, I don't. Oh my God, never mind. But you could say, in a firkin, ale gets real.
Ale gets real.
What?
Real ale. It's not real beer unless it's cask or firkin.
So you guys are now tapping firkins pretty regularly.
We do what we want.
Every 2 weeks or so. Yeah.
We like playing around with it. Like it's,
Facebook would be a great place to check that out. Facebook.com/Zeroday Brewing.
I'm really excited about the firkin we're tapping tomorrow at Kennett Square Beer Fest. It's a blue agave saison, and we did the tequila-soaked oak chips, but we actually have that beer in our Mexican añejo tequila barrels back there, so that'll be tapped in a couple months. We're hoping for around 6 months, but we actually have a pretty decent barreling sitch going on back there. We were able to secure barrels from Willett Distillery in Kentucky. So we're actually, come December, we're going to have a vertical flight, and you'll be able to get 5 ounces of the 3 different iterations. You'll be able to get unaged, aged in Willett bourbon, and aged in Willett rye. And it's a vertical of that. And then we have our holiday ale grievance, which you'll be able to get in bombers. And that there is sitting on, it's a specialty Belgian ale, and it is sitting on Madagascar bourbon, vanilla, and cinnamon right now.
That sounds awesome.
So our general, like, all the time beers are good. They're like good solid beers, but what I have fun with is all of the specialty stuff that we have a little bit more time to play around with.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
Round 2, fight.
So there's a beer that magically appeared in front of us, and what I understand is it's the Zero Day IPA Episode 4.
That's correct.
Not the Mango Hob.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So
tell us a little bit about this beer.
So our
juicy.
Our Zero Day IPA, we change it every time we release it. So no 2 batches are the same.
Except for this one.
Except for this one, yeah.
Liar.
Yeah, we ended up sourcing the ingredients. We hopped this with Citra and Falconer's Flight, which are 2, on our scale, very hard to get hops. And I was able to buy them in a significant quantity. So we ended up brewing this exact same recipe 2 times, so it would last a little bit longer because our IPAs tend to sell very, very, very quickly.
Yeah, they're like here and gone.
Yeah, and that's usually the way with IPAs. So this is episode 4, so you do like an IPA series. So is that more, I imagine part of that's because you want to brew different IPAs, but is it also because of the hop availability?
Yeah, that's really the main thing. First of all, it's new and exciting every time it comes out.
Yeah.
We try to stick to kind of the same malt profile. We change it up a little bit depending on what we're doing. And alcohol by volume changes a little bit. But the big thing that changes is what hops we can get. On our scale, it's really hard to source things like Citra, Falconer's Flight, Eldorado, Simcoe, all those, the hops that everyone knows and loves.
Yeah.
It's really hard without these contracts, and the contracts are 5 years out right now. So we're beg, borrowing, and stealing for what we can get. Right. So instead of trying to produce one great IPA every single time, we're just we're buying what we can. And so far, we've been pretty successful with being able to get some of these really great hops. But they're different every time. So every time the IPA comes out, it's new and it's unique. And our customers really seem to be responding well to them.
I think the worst thing you can do is say that you have your Zero-Day IPA and knowing that you're changing hops and trying to pass that off as like a consistent product. So like, if you can't keep it consistent, might as well make it a series.
Yeah.
Was our thought
and
process
it's a popular thing. I mean, we've talked to other brewers and been to other breweries that do the same thing. They do an IPA series, and a lot of it is governed by the hops you can get, being a smaller scale brewery, especially because like you could do a consistent IPA with really obscure hops that you can get all the time.
Right.
But if you can get your hands on some Citra, if you can get your hand on some Falconer's Flight, you want to use them.
And you can tell when you release these. We've learned just in the 6 months we've been open, the response to the names like Citra, Eldorado, Simcoe, all those. People really respond to that.
I'm excited for episode 5, actually. That is an Eldorado hopped beer, which we really love Eldorado. It's not easy to get for a brewery our size, but stay tuned.
Will it come with a cowboy hat?
Maybe.
Should come with a cowboy
Definitely
hat.
Boots.
Definitely boots.
Did you think of calling episode 4 a Brew Hope?
I love it.
Actually, when we had episode 1, after we had initially released it, we said we should have started the first IPA as episode 4 and then gone in and on our 1 year anniversary released episode 1.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
But that was an afterthought, yeah.
So you brewed this with these hops, this IPA twice. Did you call it episode 4 each time?
Yeah, this is the exact same IPA.
So it was just episode 4 brewed twice.
And we brewed it within like a week of each other. It was back to back, yeah.
The next one could be the Emp Beer Strikes Back.
Oh my God!
Is that the one with Jar Jar? Because I'm not okay with that.
I feel like Disney would send me some kind of random cease and desist if we went that close. Like, wasn't there another beer that was like it was blatantly Star Wars?
There
and
was
they were
like a trademark thing.
No.
Like we think not.
On the homebrew scale, I used to do. There's a hop called Millennium. Which I can't buy in quantity, so I would do Millennium and then Falconer's Flight.
The Millennium,
and it was actually
edition.
a really fucking good, great IPA. But I haven't been able to find Millennium on a big enough scale to do that up. But
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, this is a delicious IPA. It is in fact
Thank you.
juicy.
It's juicy.
It is just the right kind of juicy. It's a little up there at 7.9. It's
Yeah.
It is an almost 8% beer. Yeah.
It's quite good.
I had a couple of these the other night, and I was just like, damn.
Did you fall out of a hot tub?
And then-
What happened?
And then we still have an imperial version of it. Like,
Oh, good God.
Oh, wait for it.
yeah.
We like big
Sitting
beers.
there.
We like big beers, and we cannot lie.
You other brewers
can't deny.
Brewers, you other brewers.
Try Dolce again.
I'm going to try Dolce again.
Oh, I finished my Dolce.
So did I.
It was so good. Thank you.
Sharing is caring.
The more you know.
You've now got herpes. Kidding.
Or is she?
I don't want herpes.
You say I want herpes?
No, I don't. I don't.
I don't think you
It
said
did
I
sound
want
like I
herpes.
want herpes.
I want herpes in my mouth.
I'm just, I guess, really good at.
It is good when it warms up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
The sweetness wound up a little more subdued, but it's still there in the aftertaste.
On Sunday, we're doing a firkin every day this weekend at various locations. On Sunday, we're tapping a firkin of the Dolce Vita with Italian Luxardo
cherries.
cherries
What?
at Grain and Verse Bottle House.
Yeah,
So
Grain and Verse
what,
Bottle
what?
House. Which, have you guys ever been there?
No.
No.
you should do that. Yeah.
It's got cases of like bottled or canned or whatever beer, and it's pizza. So like you can go there and you just pick out your bottles, you crack them open, like it's awesome.
It
but
sounds like the fridge.
yeah, it is like the fridge.
fridge is
in
an awesome
Lancaster.
place.
It's Harrisburg's
It's
fridge.
bigger than the fridge, though.
My
But
fridge is bigger than your fridge.
have you been to any of the beer dinners at the Garlic Poet?
No.
Our beer dinner is coming up November 14th.
You need to do a vegetarian beer dinner.
I don't know if I, could do a
refuse-
full
I
vegetarian beer
refuse
dinner.
to pay for a meal I cannot eat.
Maybe you
I
should
will
eat
make
meat.
you a
Choose not to.
salad.
If you ate meat, it would just.
Apparently, V
Maybe
Street,
you should eat meat.
V Street in Philly did a vegan dinner with Almanac beers last night.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good. I mean, that's really a good idea.
And
I mean,
didn't
it gives
find
an
out until it
alternative.
started.
I mean, all of our beers are vegan except for the Dolce.
Dolce
We
Vita
use-
is the only one on.
We use
right now.
cocoa
lactose in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm excited. Our beer dinner is coming up with them on November 14th. So
Nice.
Plug.
Plug November 14th.
November 14th.
Beer dinner.
what's next?
What
Are
is
we
next?
drinking the
Oh.
mango hob next?
Is that
I
what
do
we're on?
believe that's the
Oh
next.
boy. Oh boy. We're going from juicy to spicy.
But it's not hatefully spicy. Like, it won't hit you in the face.
It's not Steph
It's not
spicy.
stuff.
It's not going to shank you.
I appreciate that.
In the hot tub.
Oh, I wish Chelsea was here. Chelsea, we miss you. My question for you: how
Yes.
did you manage to manipulate this recipe to get a 6.66 ABV?
That was sheer luck.
That was a complete accident, actually. With the recipe it's a 6.5% beer. That's what it's always been. This is our first time scaling it up, and we know our system pretty well. But on this, there's a lot of variables with alcohol, so we can get pretty darn close. But when it was done and I finally tested it and I plugged everything into the computer, it came up at 6.66. And usually when something like that happens, we'll say it's 6.7%.
He called me over and he was like, "You got to see this."
But it was standing there on my computer screen at 6.66, and we went with
That's
it.
where we're
Yeah.
going.
all of the like cliched names for this beer were also taken. We'd always just called it Mango Hob, but we were like, it's 6.66. Can't we call it like Diablo or like
Diablo, I
the
like that.
Beast? And they're all taken.
Yeah.
We also didn't want it to be like this really intimidating name.
Yeah, we didn't, 'cause it's not
It's not an
intimidating.
intimidating beer.
Yeah.
We designed this beer to be, I'm drinking this poolside or by the beach or with a plate of hot wings.
And it's got a little zip, but not.
It's not supposed to be something that you can't sit down and drink a pint of without, being uncomfortable afterward or hating yourself the next morning. So we didn't
fiery poop.
Yeah, we didn't want it to. We didn't want it to be an intimidating name, so we couldn't come up with a name. So it ended up being called Mango Hob, which is what we've always just called it. Yeah.
The beer speaks for itself.
Yeah, no, I like that the spiciness doesn't like kick you in the throat. It's
No,
there,
it's not,
but
yeah.
the mango does a really good job of kind of evening it out.
Yeah.
I like it.
Although I'm starting to feel the burn a little bit, but I'm a huge spice pussy. I can't take it. But it is very good.
Even this is too much for you?
After it starts to accumulate, and I gotta
the more you drink it, the more it does build. But
I'm very sensitive. All right.
I have a very high tolerance to spice, so it doesn't taste spicy to me at all.
You and Steph will get along very well.
Yeah, I remember on the last time when I was on the podcast with you guys, I was telling you about his way of being able to eat this hot, awful stuff, and the physical reaction is just sweating and redness.
Oh, yeah.
And horrible. And I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, give me more. I
love it.
And I'm just like, you look like I need to take you to the hospital.
The best feeling is when you go to the Pepper Fest and you're standing under a tree and there's just tears running down your face and your nose is running. You're like, just keep giving me napkins. It's okay.
That sounds terrible.
That sounds awful.
It goes away.
It's just snot.
Yeah. If only we had a video of that.
Lick it up. I have a short tongue, so it didn't even make that much of an impact.
Oh, it made enough impact. It's good, though. You there's peppers in it. You get a subtle burn, but you taste the mango. And it's not that frat party. It's not that
it really
syrupy,
is. It is a
fake
frat party.
Mango taste. You can tell that you were up at however early you got up in the morning to
shuck mangoes.
Yeah. It was like the crack of 8, yeah.
Really?
The crack of 8.
I was at work at 6:45 this morning. I don't want to hear it.
We were here until almost what time last night?
Yeah, and we'll be here till then tonight.
1 or 2.
Okay, so we have another beer in front of us. What is this one?
The 002.
002.
Double aught 2.
Double aught 2.
002.
So this is the second iteration of your Double Aught IPA series.
That's correct, yes.
Another IPA series.
Yes.
It's fresh hopped with a Cascade from the local Dillsburg farm.
Same Cascade that was in the
Cheap
4% beer earlier.
And yet this one is 10.6.
That's correct.
This is our first over 10% beer.
Oh, really?
We like big beers.
And you cannot lie.
You other brewers can't deny.
It's very good.
Wow.
It's actually got a surprising malt character to it.
Yep.
For being a
Theo
double
likes
IPA,
his multi IPAs.
I do. I enjoy a multi IPA.
It is kind of his signature thing. I'm more of a juicy IPA, which is why I really love episode 4. But the first 3 in the regular IPA series were definitely more malty. It's kind of his area that he really likes. But for the doubles, I think it works because there's a little bit of that sweetness, but it's not like a raisiny honey fermentation sweetness is what the malt lends to it. And that could be absolutely insane, but that's what I think. It's my story and I'm sticking to it.
It's got a nice smoothness to it.
Smoothosity.
Smoothosity, I was about to say that.
Yeah.
I try to balance everything, no matter what the beer is. I try to keep everything in balance, and a lot of people come in and say, I really want a in your face, I want to be punched in the face with hops, but this is not really what we do.
This is not the beer for that. No, this
Right.
is definitely well balanced. I really I like the malt character to it.
Thank you.
It's more of an East Coasty
What's this?
IPA.
Here.
It's the 002 Firkin, as I like to call it, the double lot, the Firkin double lot.
Frickin' double aught.
It reminds me of Devil Lock.
right.
The creepy hair trend.
All right, we got to move on to the Firkin.
Same exact beer.
But Firkinized.
More of it, because there's already 3 goblets of this beer on the table.
I know,
but now
have
we've
so
got more.
much beer. All of the beer.
We've got all the beer.
We make it rain here at Zeroday.
Okay.
I want it in my mouth.
That, yes. So I don't know, we didn't mention this particular Firkin yet?
We didn't.
On the episode?
Yeah, anyway, what
did
are
we
we
talk about that at the beginning? I don't think
What are
did.
we Firkin drinking?
Steph tapped our awesome Firkin of our 002 or 002.
And I didn't break anything.
She didn't
No, you
break
did
anything.
You did a fantastic job.
And
Yay.
there's video on it. You posted it to your your Twitter and stuff,
Our
right?
Twitter and all that Shazam.
Yeah,
The
so if you
Soch.
actually want to see her tap our firkin in the tasting room, you can check out their Twitter and stuff. But it is aged on white American oak chips, so it simulates a little bit of like a barrel aging, but in a faster way.
It's a speedy barrel aging.
We really love the flavor of wood, and I think what we were joking before when everybody was getting set up is like, this tastes like a trip to Home Depot on the weekends. Like, it is lumbery, but in a good way. It's like,
Yeah, it is less of a like an oak barrel aged taste, and it is more like a fresh cut lumber. It almost evokes that sort of a
because they're
quality
not
to it,
there was no spirits that we steeped, so it really is just the flavor
wood
of
itself.
the wood.
Yeah.
And just like with smoked meats and stuff like that, you know, the different wood gives different characteristics when blended with beer. Like, I'd really like to play around, and we've never really talked about this, but I'd like to play around with some like cherry wood and see what like a cherry wood firkin might do
with a Rauch beer.
There you go. What was the at Spellbound the wood they used?
Palo Santo.
Palo Santo. That was really interesting.
But if you like take a sip of the regular double, it's bright. It's a little bit more bright. It's got that malty sweetness, and it's not cloyingly sweet. But when you take a sip of the double aught that we did in the firkin, it's almost like this notes of vanilla and like caramel, but not in a sweet, overpowering way.
There's like an extra. I almost get like a fruity character out of it in the background too.
A little bit, yeah. And it feels a little richer, and that might also be the cask.
Yeah, the natural carbonation really changes the character. Because the regular 002, we forced carbonate,
right,
like any beer.
Right.
But this was naturally fermented,
so it's actually cask
in the cask.
conditioned, yeah.
So it really does have it changes the mouthfeel.
It really does, which I think complements that more malt forward character to it, which I think also blends really well with the wood. It's a really interesting cask.
And we actually also have this available on our Nitro Stout too. So we have this. You can come in right now and have this beer three
completely
ways.
different ways. Nice.
4.
You can throw
put
a
a habanero
You're
in
putting a fucking habanero in everything now.
You can do that too.
I don't want to waste it. My lip is burning right now, though. I
Of course
just have
it
to
is.
say, Mike Weiser, you made my lip burn.
Hey now.
It has a nice plumping effect, though. We should put this in beauty products.
There you go. They've been missing out.
I feel like you're probably not the first person who has said, Mike Weiser, you made my lips burn.
This is true, but I'm probably the first that tweeted it.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Again, penicillin.
Yeah. Yes,
But
but
he's allergic.
the warmed up firkin soothes it.
Can I
So
try the warmed
Theo
up
soothed
firkin?
my lip.
Yours has been.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
That's a
It's
damn hot pepper.
10.6%. Are you really going to drink all of this?
No.
Well, since we're talking about things that
STDs?
enjoy thriving in warm, wet environments, I think our friend Bart had a story he would like to share on the podcast this evening.
Oh, that's right. We're supposed
and
to
he's
get
standing
Do I
on the
need to
side of the
tweet at
room.
him to get his attention?
And I told him we'd flag him down, and he'd be looking, but now he's looking at Wes's phone.
He's looking at boobs.
We don't have TVs in Zeroday, so everyone just looks at their phones.
But we do have USB chargers built into the bar.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
That's cool.
All right, somebody's going to have to share a mic
No,
There,
Bart,
I got you.
or give up a mic.
do you need the headphones?
We hear you.
I think he
Rob.
needs the headphones.
Give him the headphones, sure. All right. Stepping up to the microphone now, a man who needs no introduction.
Bart, last time you were on the show, we had Westy. I'm just saying. What'd
Yeah,
you
you
bring?
can't top that.
Was that the last time?
The
I think
Westie?
it might
yeah.
have been.
Wow, that
Yeah,
was.
at Free Will.
What'd
yeah.
you bring us this time?
You know what? I did not bring any
Oh.
presents this time.
Only a story.
You're
So
a shitty
we were
person,
talking
Bart.
about things that thrive in moist, warm, wet environments, and it made us think of you.
Wow.
So
Wow,
apparently,
there's no introduction better than that. Things that thrive in warm, moist environments.
yes.
Like Bart getting over here.
That's right. So you have a hot tub story. There's a lot of hot tub stories this evening.
I do.
So
I
can
do.
you top the stories we've already heard?
Yes, actually, you guys see my lovely girlfriend over there, Amy?
Yes. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
We actually sort of almost met in high school because of her hot tub, but I never met her in high school. She was 2 years older than me. She was a senior. And,
Cougar.
I know. And it's funny, we were the Palmyra Cougars.
She is the Palmyra Cougar.
Oh my gosh, if she could hear this now. Anyway.
She will later.
So I was a sophomore in high school. I was on the football team, and a good friend of mine was a senior who was also named Amy. They were best friends in high school, 2 Amy's. So the Amy that wasn't my girlfriend now, the other Amy came up to me and said, "Hey, I know a senior that wants to take you out." And let alone her name was Amy Siegel. So I was like, okay, cool. That sounds good. Let's go out sometime, hook it up. So meanwhile, all the seniors on our football team caught wind of this and, of course, started giving me shit like you wouldn't believe. Probably because they were jealous, but I was too young to realize that. But she had a hot tub in high school, and the seniors on the football team were like, "Hey, you going to get her in your hot tub?" So me being the arrogant sophomore that I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll definitely get her in that hot tub." So it didn't take more than probably a day for that to reach back to her. And then, of course, my friend Amy came up to me a little bit later and was like, "Yeah, Amy doesn't want to go out with you anymore." So that was my short-lived experience. 25 years later, fast forward, we happen to run into each other, and here we are.
Has there been any hot tub since?
Not yet, no.
All right, there's got to be some hot tub.
But we're going to
Or maybe there
Mexico in
shouldn't
December, so...
You're going to Mexico in December?
Yeah, I'm
That's
thinking-
perfect hot tub.
Exactly. I'm
Nice.
thinking that's definitely going to be perfect hot tub.
And Bart, people don't know, Bart actually designs the branding.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, I did sit down with my sketch pad and horribly drew a 0 with a slash through it.
It's a circle and a line. Well, how can you fuck that up?
I did. It was terrible. I will show you the sketches.
Oh, great.
So I was like, hey, Bart. So let's walk you through the space. We need to rebrand. We want it to have this feeling to it. And look at what I did on my sketchbook. And he didn't make me feel bad about
He didn't
myself.
laugh in your face.
But he took it
He's a
and he really
professional.
ran with it and made it the Brandon. And it's really I think pretty iconic.
It's
that
striking.
0.
Yeah.
It looks
It's really
great
cool.
when we have pictures of artists in front of it or music or whatever. And he did a great job.
Hey, I just want to say while I got Brandalynn and Theo here, and my dear friends, the Beer Busters. Well, you guys are all dear friends of mine, but Brandalynn, speaking of your logo and branding it, and Theo, it's honestly been an honor for me, and I was seriously very, very proud when you guys came to ask me to take a crack at that. And I live a block away here in Midtown, and this is my favorite spot to come here in Harrisburg and see my branding every day. It's been an accomplishment for me in my career. And I know you guys just had your 6-month anniversary here, so I just want to say thanks for giving me the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to a big future between
Cheers.
all of us.
Cheers. Cheers.
Here's to new beginnings. We're all pretty new in our fields, and
It's
think
all
we're
about
gonna
working
together.
with people, and we just appreciate you as well. We're going to get
Thank
sappy
you.
right now,
I was
but
gonna say,
No.
every time Bart gets on the mic, things get sentimental.
It's getting real, yo.
He's good at that.
I feel so happy because we really do try as one of our things to utilize as many local people as possible. We want to get that influx of whatever funds we have or whatever into the economy and making sure that we're making this city a better viable city. We want people to come here. We want to do the right things. That's why we work with charities. That's why we have Dress for Success donation nights. Girls Pine Out. Have you ever been to a Girls Pine Out? Steph, you need to check one of those out, but we had a Dress for Success donation night. We're actually, and this is the first time we're dropping this actually, because the press release goes out, I think, tomorrow. But this is an exclusive.
Well, it won't be because this won't release.
I know.
It's
But
exclusive now.
we're
Get in your hot
actually
tub time machine.
we're working with Arugas, and they're getting a tap of our beer, and 5% of the proceeds of all the sales of Zero Day beer at Aruga's downtown location goes to Habitat for Humanity for the greater Pennsylvania area.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
We really as much as we get from this community that has supported us and really made it so we could actually open, we try to give back as much as possible. So, and we love you, Bart.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers to me.
One more
Cheers
time.
to
One
you.
more time.
All of the booze.
All of the booze.
Stuff I got.
I made it.
I spilled it on my cleavage.
All right, guys. I'm putting Theo back on the mic.
My boobs
All
are
right, thanks,
talking.
Bart. Thanks for the verbal hugs.
Thank you, Bart.
We always love you.
Adios, amigo.
I think we're getting drunk.
I'm back in
I
the
think
Matrix.
so.
All right.
Yeah, you're
I'm
back
like,
in the Matrix.
shit.
Oh shit! You guys have a lot of unfinished beer over there.
Hey,
Drinking
we're
it.
brewing.
Yeah, I am halfway through brewing right now.
Jeez.
Speaking of which, did we miss a hop edition, or do you have a timer set?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
Well, we haven't done this in a while, but should we go for favorites? Do you think we can? Is that a thing we can do? And Steph, your
I think
habanero added
I
beers
think
don't count.
I'm canceled out of this.
Why? 'Cause was your favorite one
Because
of the
I put the
habanero crap
habanero in
ones?
3 of them.
Weirdo.
Fair enough.
I think for me, I got to go
You double
Dolce.
dip your chip.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
If your favorite beer is Purple Monkey Dishwasher,
Dolce
I-
Vita.
Yeah, that's
I
not
feel
a
like that
surprise,
would be
yeah.
like the appropriate choice.
It would be.
I would have won a point on that question if I answered it.
Well, too bad it wasn't a question, and you guys weren't on the same team.
I
so,
know. Hey,
It's a thought that counts, I guess.
I guess. I don't know, man. Dolce Vita was definitely up there for me. It was just really. I like. That's not my favorite kind of beer, like Purple Monkey Dishwasher, chocolate peanut butter, desserty, whatever. But a really good one like that, like a really well executed, sweet, sort of dessert-like beer, I really like. But man, I don't know. I really, really liked all.
It
the
was a
beers
tough
we had
call.
today.
It was definitely a tough
And I know
call.
when we used to do favorites, which we haven't done in forever, and I don't know why all of a sudden we're doing it again, but that's fine. We always say that. We always say, "Oh, all the beers were so good." But
My favorite is the Firkin.
the Firkin's really good.
the Firkin
Actually,
002 was awesome.
Critical Condition is a kind of
with
beer.
the habanero and without the habanero.
Yeah.
So, but Wayne, gun to your head.
Gun to my head. Well, the thing I like about the Critical Condition is that it's a beer that, if I want to get drunk, because it's a little up there, I can drink it. But it's also a beer that drinks smooth enough that if I don't want to get drunk, I can get one and just like nurse it all night.
Yeah.
You know,
And
that's
I'd enjoy it either way.
That's exactly how I designed it to be.
There you go.
So that makes me feel good.
It worked.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. Achievement unlocked.
Oh, jeez.
You have won the podcast.
You have won the podcast.
And really, I mean, in the sea of beers, you have different styles, you have different beers, and you have your year-rounds, and you have your staple things. It's hard for me to pick a favorite. People always ask me, what's your favorite?
What I'm drinking right now.
And I'm like, it's seriously what I'm drinking now. Like, I think they're all strong. If I had it available, would I reach for the, blue agave saison aged in tequila barrels before a cheap date? Obviously. But the cheap date serves a purpose. If I want to ride the lawnmower, which I don't do, by the way. If I want to ride the lawnmower, I would drink a cheap date. But like for me, I will pick my favorite right now, and hands down, I think it is the Zeroday IPA Episode 4. Out of everything that we've drank today.
A brew hope.
A brew hope.
A brew hope.
A brew hope. And I know you didn't ask me, but I volunteered it anyway.
That's fine.
I was about to ask you, but now I get to turn the tables on you. Theo, what is your favorite beer to drink?
I think we already
Penis.
know.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Wait.
Whoa.
I didn't say that.
It came from the lady Mike.
I'm going with the mango hob right now.
Mango hop. All right. All right.
Upset. Surprise. Okay.
What were you thinking?
The
Amber?
Yeah. Critical Condition.
You should make your mango hob a real mango hob.
Dude, I can smell that from here. Jesus
That's what she
Christ.
said.
I also don't know
Gross.
which one is mango hob, so
Just
Just
throw
put
it
it
in one
in any
of
of
them.
them.
It's not the stout.
This one.
So you
this
know
is
that.
mango hob. No, you're mixing beer. We're making beer cocktails now.
Nice.
We have gone past the point of giving a fuck, and we've blended everything.
We have now spent all our fucks this
that
evening.
makes me want to die a little bit.
that's mango hob IPA Episode 4 and a half.
Just
hob.
to give you an indicator of a
Actually,
mango
I
hob.
would like to try that.
It's
I
very
would
good.
like
we
to try
put
37. Actually.
Oh my God,
37,
we
yeah.
did put
Oh my God, it's 37.
we put 37
That was only half on
habaneros.
purpose.
Okay,
yeah.
is it late enough that I can say it? Try not to suck any dicks.
Oh, I guess I gotta try this.
Oh no, I'm not doing
That's
it.
very- that's
I'm
very,
not
very
doing
hot.
it.
It hasn't been in there
tastes
long enough.
really
It's not that
good.
hot.
It's not
but it
touching
hurts
my
so
mouth.
bad. It tastes really good. It's worth it. 'cause
I
it tastes
just smelled it.
it tastes really good.
The Dolce Vita washes that down.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
I-
right.
I
The
made those
lactose.
videos.
The
helps secure it.
lactose.
So zerodaybrewing.com, facebook.com/zerodaybrewing, Twitter at Zeroday Brewing, Instagram at Zeroday Brewing. Brandalynn does all the soch, so check it out.
I do the soch.
All of the soching.
You do.
And of course, any links that you need will be linked from beerbusterspodcast.com.
November 14th, The Garlic Poet. Check it out.
Yes, don't forget that.
Oh, and this Sunday.
This Sunday. Sunday.
That's too late.
Because this podcast will be out by then.
Well, then don't come this Sunday whenever you're listening to it.
There you go. Fair enough.
November 14th.
November 14th.
Garlic
That's
Poet.
really hot.
Garlic Poet.
Speaking of days that you can,
not
you can
that
really
hot.
Speaking
it's
of
pretty hot.
Speaking of times that you can show up here, when are you guys open?
We're open Wednesday through Friday, 4 to 11 p.m., Saturday, 12 to 11, and Sunday, 12 to 8.
Okay.
That's why she's the
And I
fitness.
promise not to put halved habaneros in any of your beer because you guys are fucking crazy.
That's all Steph. That is all Steph. Don't lump me and Wayne in with that.
It's
You
good.
put it in your mouth.
Your motherfucking mouth.
Yes, of course. Okay, well, I believe that unfortunately brings us to the untimely end of another episode of Beer Busters.
Fun times.
And now that the soundboard wants to agree with me, it's been a lot of fun, guys. Thank you for having us out here.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming.
Yeah, thanks for getting us drunk, and for all the bros in the background. Thank
All
you.
the bros.
Bros, thank you, bros.
To the bros.
To the bros. To the bros.
To the bros.
Bros.
Well, I am Dan Baker, joined as always by my co-host and brewologist,
And Steph Hefner.
and our fermenter Tanner, Wayne Baker, who can't talk anymore because of that damn pepper. Well, as usual, no squids were harmed in the making of this episode that we are aware of. And until next time, my friends, we bid you adieu.
Brew cocky.